I always thought love was simple. Dominic and I had been together for 5 years, and for 8 months, we were officially engaged. The beginning of our story was unremarkable, yet perfect in its simplicity. We met at a mutual friend's housewarming party, bonding over ridiculous cartoons and our mutual disdain for IPAs. Somehow, in that small apartment with laughter and chatter all around, we found each other. After a year of dating, we moved in together. Our little apartment was cozy, filled with mismatched furniture, stacks of comic books, and Beans, our adopted cat. Life was ordinary, quiet, and safe. Last summer, Dominic proposed on a weekend hike. I remember the morning vividly. Sunlight filtering through pine trees, birds chirping, and Dominic kneeling in front of me. My heart raced, my hands shook, and I said yes without hesitation. The first weeks of planning were euphoric. We sketched out ideas for the wedding, discussed venues, guest lists, and honeymoon destinations. But as time passed, I noticed subtle changes. Dominic became distant, less interested in details I was excited about. A venue I suggested was too expensive. A guest I wanted to invite was probably unnecessary. I shrugged it off as pre wedding stress. Then came the silence. He started replying hours later, sometimes ignoring messages entirely. When we talked, his tongue was clipped, distracted. I asked if something was wrong, but he insisted it was only work related stress. His construction company had a heavy workload, he said. I wanted to believe him, but deep down, unease started to creep in. Soon I noticed he was spending more time with coworkers outside work, especially Paul, his closest colleague. After work, drinks turned into weekend hangouts. At first, I tried to stay calm. He reassured me there was nothing to worry about. But then small hints began to appear. He became secretive about his phone, laughing quietly at messages, avoiding topics I brought up. One Friday night, I asked if he wanted to do dinner at home. He hesitated and then said he had plans with Paul. I didn't push, but my stomach sank. That weekend, he barely touched his phone, except to respond to Paul. I confided in Lena, my best friend, hoping for perspective. She suggested it might just be normal pre-wedding jitters. Don't overthink it, she said. But the tension kept building. During one attempt at a romantic date night, I tried discussing honeymoon plans. Dominic's responses were vague, distant, dismissive. Then came the comment that shattered me. I'm not sure if I'm ready. Not ready for marriage, not ready for life together, not ready for anything I had assumed was certain. Shock turned into a storm of questions. Why? When did his feelings shift? He spoke of conversations with Paul, worries about how marriage changes everything, about family pressure, and examples of disastrous relationships. It was incomprehensible. 5 years, 5 months of engagement, and suddenly doubt. I felt my world crumble in real time. The next morning was worse. Silence filled the apartment. Dominic left for work, still distracted, still tense. I tried continuing daily routines but failed miserably. Hours later, a message popped up from Kyler, one of Dominic's coworkers. He cautiously asked me if I was okay. Confused, I called him. Kyler told me that at a recent gathering, Dominic made a cruel joke. If you were prettier, I'd marry you. My chest tightened. The realization hit me like a punch. Not drunken stupidity, not harmless banter, but an attempt to mask his doubts with humor at my expense. I sat in my car for a long time, staring at nothing, feeling both humiliated and heartbroken. That night, Dominic tried his usual peacemaking routine. Coffee, breakfast, small gestures of affection, but I couldn't accept them. My emotions had reached a breaking point. The man I loved had publicly humiliated me, and privately, he had vided uncertainty. I packed a bag and left, seeking refuge at my brother Elliot's apartment. Calls and texts flooded in. Dominic pleaded, apologized, tried to explain, but I responded only once. I needed distance, space, time, clarity. A few days later, Dominic's mother, Valerie, reached out. She insisted I meet her. Something had to be revealed. My heart sunk. What could possibly be worse? Sitting across from her in a small coffee shop, Valerie's face was pale, eyes full of worry. She revealed that Dominic had developed feelings for a coworker, Maria. Nothing physical, she emphasized, but emotional intimacy had emerged. Valerie's voice trembled as she explained her own experiences with betrayal and her fear that history was repeating itself. My mind spun. All the small signs now made sense. Secretive messages, distant behavior, jokes at my expense. Dominic's uncertainty wasn't just fear, it was attachment elsewhere. My engagement, the symbol of our shared future, was unraveling. I called Karina, Dominic's sister, to mediate a family discussion. We arranged dinner at her apartment. Tension was palpable. Valerie, Karina, Paul, Dominic, and I sat around the dining room table, eating in silence. Finally, Valerie asked for honesty. I shared what I learned. Paul attempted defense, claiming he only gave advice. Dominic finally admitted the truth. Maria's presence had sparked fear and doubt, and he had let insecurities dictate behavior. He apologized, admitted wrongs, but the damage was done. It became clear the wedding could not happen. We needed separation to heal. Dominic moved out within a week. I rented a new apartment across town. 1 bedroom, quiet, filled with sunlight. The apartment felt empty but liberating. Social media complicated matters. Posts and comments flooded in. I posted a brief statement about mutual decisions and privacy. I muted notifications and focused on reclaiming normalcy. Therapy became essential. I learned to process the betrayal, to recognize my own compromises, and to rebuild confidence in myself. Hiking became a ritual, a reclaiming of my own space and time. I began to enjoy solitude, learning independence for the first time. The biggest challenge and gift was my booked honeymoon, a 10-day coastal trip, non-refundable. Lena encouraged me to go alone. At first, I hesitated, but soon realized it was an opportunity. 10 days to rediscover myself, read, write, explore beaches, and embrace solitude. Months later, Dominic reached out, not with a plea, not for reconciliation, but with honesty. He shared his therapy reflections, insights on mistakes and personal growth. There was no expectation, only clarity. It helped me process closure and reinforce that some endings, though painful, lead to personal growth. Through heartbreak and betrayal, I realized love alone is insufficient. Respect, honesty, emotional maturity, these are indispensable. I lost a partner, but gained independence, resilience, and self-respect. The engagement that once felt like a lifetime ended, but in its place emerged a stronger version of myself. The future, though uncertain, is mine to shape.